Welcome to the Infinite Wealth Podcast. I'm Cameron Christiansen, along with our co host, Anthony Faso. And today we're going to walk you through a proven system that we call the passive income operating system that shows you how to turn active income into passive income without working more hours. Anthony, how great does that sound?
That sounds great. I want to learn more, right?
If you're an investor or want to be an investor and you're looking to create passive income that exceeds your monthly expenses, then this is the podcast for you. Here on the Infinite Wealth Podcast, we combine the philosophies of Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad, along with Nelson Nash's infinite banking concept.
You got me with the hook, and I think is a very interesting and different concept, or it's establishing a process. So I'm excited to share it with our listeners.
I am too. And today I've had a couple phone calls, and actually both calls today we spent a lot of time revolving around why this is an issue. The reason that we are kind of introducing you guys to the PIOS is because this is a problem that a lot of investors and a lot of business owners are having. Really, the problem that people are running into is they are commingling their funds. And what that means is that they're taking all of their income and it's falling into one main account, and when this happens, it just absolutely kind of train wrecks the whole initiative and it just causes paralysis. So, if you guys don't mind, Fast, if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen. Perfect, guys. This is what we want to address today. This is the problem. Everybody out there has income that is coming in, and what they do is they drop it into one main account. We call this their superhero account because this one account is trying to do everything. They're trying to pay the bills, they're trying to invest, they're trying to save, and it gets really, really difficult as we're trying to juggle all of these things to then also throw in on top of it, hey, we want to invest. When we get into this situation where we have a superhero account, I can speak from experience that what ends up happening is our focus ends up falling down here to all of these things that we're trying to juggle, right? Savings, taxes, making sure we pay any of our debt service. And so what happens is when we have an investment opportunity that presents itself, is all it does is it leads to confusion because now we've got to backtrack and we've got to say, hey, do I have enough money in here to pay my taxes when they're due? Or when is the net debt service going to be drafted out of this? Do I have enough money to go make this investment? And so all this scenario does, Anthony, is it causes confusion for most people. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would think confusion, and then also when these variable expenses come up, they haven't planned for it because a lot of times we are spending whatever's in our bank account. And so then it's next, it's Christmas time and you don't know where the money's coming from. Right. So allows us to avoid that problem.
Absolutely. When people get into this situation, what I've seen is that their focus becomes down here on the fixed payments. It doesn't kind of rise up to the creation of that passive income side of it. And really, what I end up people doing is they end up focusing over here on this active income. And what they try to do is they just try to run harder, right? As they try to create more income rather than fix the underlying issue, which is this superhero account. Now, so what should people do about this?
What I would say is that you brought up a very good point is that we need a system. And it's important if you're on kind of a fixed income or like a salary or a variable income, because again, like I said, if you're on that steady salary, you got to plan for these variable expenses, whether it's Christmas, repairs, some medical expenses. But what I think it's even more important, or even as important, if your income is variable. Because what I've seen, I was talking to a client before they had implemented this, and they thought they were doing a good job because they're trying to maximize. They got the best credit card that they got from a podcast on the Point Hound, so they're trying to get all those miles. And then what's happening, and they're paying it off every week. But the problem is there's no barometer. They're just spending freely on that credit card. I mean, because they have the income coming in. And what happens is they pay off the debt and those expenses, but they're not saving money to invest. So they think they're doing well because they're out of debt, but they're missing some opportunities. And what this does, it allows them to control their money. And this is a simple 3-step process. The first process, or the first step, is to store. We need to store our capital in accounts that have specific jobs. The second step is the leverage. We want to have one place where we're storing it. We're going to leverage against that to finance our investments, or to pay down debt, or to pay taxes. And oftentimes this hub can be an infinite banking policy. And then what we do is we recycle. When we get more income, we got to put it somewhere. We put it back in the hub, so that can allow us again to either pay down debt, pay taxes, or ideally buy more investments. And the key thing here is that this is not about working harder, or finding the perfect investment. It's about establishing a system so your dollars have a job as soon as they come in. So, Cameron, how you want to explain a little bit more on the details and how someone can accomplish this?
Yeah. Well done, Fast. So I like the idea of having a structure. And again, I'm going to share my screen so I can walk you guys through kind of step by step how we get out of just that superhero account. So to create structure in our superhero account, we've actually got to add a few pieces. Anthony talked about storage. We have to be intentional with it, where our money is going. And so a few upgrades, simple, easy upgrades that we want you guys to make is if you're in that superhero account, this is actually going to be your superhero account down here in the white box. And what we're going to use that account for is going to be the account that you're going to pay any sort of fixed or variable expenses out of. The upgrade that we're going to have you guys make is take all of your active income, and we want you to open up a new income account. So all active income, business, yours, your spouse's, all of that is going to go into this account. And anytime that you need to make a payment for an expense, is you're going to distribute or transfer funds from that income account down here to the old superhero account. If you guys just do this simple step, just this simple thing for the next 30 days, at the end of 30 days, is you're going to know exactly how much money's coming in. You're going to know exactly how much money's coming out. And additionally, you guys are going to know exactly how much money is left over at the end of the month. What we find out, or once we find out how much money is left over at the end of the month, is now we want to transfer that money over into the second account that we're going to have you guys open up. Again, this is just a simple basic checking account, but it's going to be called your investing account. And so once we can do this, now we're going to start transferring money over into this account. And we've got a very intentional purpose with dollars that are going into this account. Once we get this process set up, it's going to look something like this. We've got all active income going into our checking account or our income account, and it's going to go to pay any sort of bills. Now, once we transfer those dollars, those leftover dollars at the end of the month, over into our hub, also a minute ago, I just referred to it as our investing account. Once dollars hit this hub, our investing account, we really only have two questions that we need to ask at this point. Number one is, are these dollars going to be used to go down and pay off or pay down any sort of debt that we have, which will decrease our monthly expenses? Or can we take this dollar and use it to go and invest and to create or to buy an asset that is going to create income for us on a monthly basis? So again, once we transfer these dollars, we only need to ask two questions. One, is this dollar going to be used to decrease a monthly expense? Or two, can we use these dollars to create passive income on a monthly basis? Once we get to this position, the benefits that you guys are going to have is you guys are going to have clarity on where your money is going and what you can do with it. Also, you're going to have confidence when you're presented with an opportunity that you can then action immediately. And like I said, is The third thing is you can start to move much more quickly than what you've been doing. Oftentimes, in that position that you've been in before, I've seen clients get presented with an opportunity and they're just not able to move very quickly because they don't have clarity. So, again, if we can clear this up for you guys, three big benefits: clarity, confidence, and we're going to be able to move very quickly.
Cameron, I got to imagine there's somebody here listening to this saying, wait a minute, I have to set up and then I have to manage all these accounts. You're just giving me more work to do. What would you say?
Good question, Faso. I know you're always looking for the least amount of work possible. So
Yes.
let me address that for you. Is initially there's going to be a few items that we have to do to set up these accounts. But the beauty of this process, Anthony, is that once we get these set up, is all of this stuff can be automated, right? So we've got all of our income coming in the just checking account. At the end of the month, you can set up automatic drafts transferring over into this account. So ideally, we're going to get a little bit of work to set it up, but after that, it's all going to be automated, which is actually going to clear up time and create clarity for you as well. So what
Perfect.
should, yeah, if somebody's out there listening and they like this idea, what should they do next?
We actually set up, we recorded a webinar that walks you through this process. So I would encourage you to check that out at infinitewealthconsultants.com. Is that a backwards or forward slash? I always get confused. Forward? I'm going to say forward.
Yeah. Okay.
A forward slash PIOS, PIOS. And what I would say again, if you want to stop working for every dollar and instead create a system where your money works for you, you need to start implementing the passive income operating system. So we just gave you that link. Also, schedule a call with us and we can walk you through it. It's not that difficult, but we have seen the impact this has had on people. One in particular, were one client were really trying to get that passive income more than their monthly expenses. But really, in order to do that, you need to truly know what your monthly expenses are. And that's another one of the advantages of implementing this PIOS. And imagine waking up in 5 years where your passive income exceeds your expenses. You've bought back your time and your family's future is secure. And that starts with putting a system in place today. Because a lot of the clients we come with, they're not lacking desire, they're lacking a system and a process. And we can accomplish that with the passive income operating system.
Well said, Faso.
This is one of our quickest podcasts, uh, which is great. And I think we dumped a lot of information in here. So I encourage you to check it out and learn more. And then you know what, Cameron? Go make it a fantastic day.
Take care.
If you like this video, I know you're like this one. And if you want to learn how investors use infinite banking to increase their returns and lower their taxes, check this out. And if you have some questions and want to see if infinite banking is for you, hop on a discovery call with us. Link for that will be in the description.